Red Thrust, Attack on the Central Front, Soviet Tactics and Capabilities of the 1990s. Author, Stephen J. Zaloga, published in 1989. Chapter list. Chapter 1, The Invasion of Western Europe. Chapter 2, Motor Rifle Attack. Chapter 3, Tank Attack. Chapter 4, Spetsnaz in Action. Chapter 5, Attack Helicopters, Air Assault. Chapter 6, Red Artillery. Chapter 7, Fighter Combat. Chapter 8, Chemical Warfare. Pages 274. Red Thrust is an interesting, engaging look at the historical capabilities of the Soviet armed forces during the Reagan era. Stephen Zaloga is a recognized expert in Soviet arms and tactics, and this work of fictional scenarios comes to life. One gets into the mind of the Soviet tanker, the pilot, the artilleryman, and the motorized rifle soldier, right in the center of the conflict. Zaloga examines the Soviet mentality and command and execution of the invasion of Western Europe. The Soviet military machine is seen as a professional, well-trained, and realistic threat, with all of its flaws. This offers a highly creative, humanistic side of the conflict. After each operation, Zaloga analyzes and comes to a series of conclusions as if in a classroom setting. The writing is excellent and puts the reader directly into the mindset of the men in the conflict. Demchenko shouted to Kazabayev to throw him a banana magazine of ammunition. The little Tartar stared back at him, stupefied. In all the noise and excitement, Kazabayev had forgotten what little Russian he knew. The source of the problem finally occurred to Demchenko, and he pointed to the open feed on his assault rifle, shouting, "Hungry! Hungry!" The two words that every Soviet soldier knows are hungry and tired. Kazabayev threw over a magazine, which struck Demchenko's helmet. While some information today can be seen as inaccurate, one must remember that military data on the other side of the Iron Curtain in 1989 was very difficult to obtain. The damp October weather, the jarring ride of the past 3 days of hard road marches, and the stress of command had taken their toll on Pavel Krylov. He was 34 years old and had been a captain for 3 years. His career was unexceptional. He had come from a traditional Russian military family. His father, a tanker, like himself, had served in the final year of the Great Patriotic War. Krylov's unit had been stationed in Czechoslovakia before the war. It did not have the newest equipment, neither the T-72MS nor the T-84A, but the T-80M was a good tank. Its turbine engines gave a great deal of power, and its armor was relatively effective in stopping NATO anti-tank missiles. While Zaloga typically makes excellent reference books, this is an interesting look at fictional scenarios that might have taken place and fortunately didn't. Those from on the other side of the former Iron Curtain will most likely attack Zaloga, but please keep in mind that this was the year 1989. Not much information was known about Soviet capabilities, and all the West could do was speculate. I enjoyed this book greatly. I'm glad that I found it, and I encourage you to pick it up.